Hey, what's up, good peoples? What's going on? Welcome, welcome. I hope you guys can hear me. I don't have my mic today, but what's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, please share. Of course, I don't do this alone. So, by further ado, let me introduce my amazing panel to you. This is my headache, and she's also the first lady of the BMC. Welcome Shay to the show.
Never a headache. Get it right. I'm in his house. What's up?
What's going on? All right, next we got Shad. He was here last week, and everybody wanted him back. And guess what? We got him back. We booked him again. Y'all. What's up, Shad? What's up with you?
I messed up. I couldn't turn my mic on.
I see you went to the barbershop, got that crispy line and everything. Look at you.
You know what? Shout out to my barber. His name is Taurus. He's in Atlanta. No, you cannot have his number.
What's on, good peoples? Welcome to episode 39. Glad to have you guys here. Happy holidays to you. Before we dive into today's topic, as you guys know, we always have an icebreaker. So I guess we're going to talk about your Christmas wish list. What are 4 things you guys want on y'all wish list?
4?
Or
3 to 4. What? Just tell me your wish list. Ladies first.
So I really don't have a wish list, but I do want this barista alcohol maker from Kevin. It's only $400, and it gets to make all these drinks. So you put the different like tequila and rum.
oh, I used to have one of those.
And then you used to have one. Give it to me.
Is it a Bartesian?
I don't know.
Well, Merry Christmas. Can you box it up? I'll pay for shipping. And
listen, when I tell you, I ain't too proud to take hand-me-downs.
I said so used to.
Huh?
I said I used to have one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I want that, and then I think I probably just want like a purse or something. I don't have anything I really want besides that. That's it.
Okay. All right. What about you, Shad?
I would like a new computer, like a new laptop for Christmas.
Do I have to be a certain brand? Because they got good laptops out there.
Absolutely. MacBook Pro with the M2 chip, 16-inch.
See, extra.
See, yep.
1 terabyte of space. Like, I need all the accessories, all the little cords and cables, all that stuff.
Wow. See, all of that stuff. See, for me, I guess I'm simple. So, I ran out of my Versace Eros cologne, so I want that. And then I want my Jean Paul Gaultier Lamel. It's the new one in the black and gold bottle. I want a Burberry hat and scarf. Burberry beanie hat and scarf, and just some more bands for my Apple Watch. That's it. Real simple. Nothing too extravagant. Just that. What's up, good people? What's up, Des? What's up, AJ? Christy, what's up, sweetheart? David, what's up, bro? AJ, what's going on? Welcome, everybody. So, of course, we always talking about love. So let me go to what we're talking about. I should have had this up, but Shay didn't send it to me in time. So you gotta blame it on somebody. So this is episode 39. What are things that matter most in a relationship? We want all you guys feedback. Kayla, what's up, sweetheart? How you doing? This is, of course, you'll love
it. He's irritating. So my son's from college, okay? And I told him not to be walking through here trying to parlay. Get out of here and go back upstairs.
Look.
He just wants to talk about the little funky ass muscles he got.
It's 2022. We be seeing cats on camera, dogs
barking, everything.
Naked wives, the whole 9. I'm
like, what are you doing? I heard him coming down the steps like, really?
All right, David said, I know, right? The laptop, man, he wanted to be expensive because when he said laptop, I'm like, dang, I saw this mic bike brand for $200, but he told us he want a Mac. So
$200. What kind of computer you use?
It's a mic. Well, this is a Mac, sir.
Oh, okay.
I saw a mic computer, you know, an off-brand computer for 200.
Okay.
But you don't want that though. He want a terabyte and all that stuff.
I will take.
Okay.
I will take anything.
Allegedly.
Yep.
All right, y'all. So listen, what are things that matter most in a relationship to you guys?
So
I
far,
think,
Christy said trust, communication, and honesty.
I like that.
You guys can drop all your comments in there.
Yeah, and then also too, if you want to jump up, we're gonna have it where you guys can jump in if you guys want to talk. So some of the things that we're gonna talk about today are trust and commitment, sex and intimacy, work and money, family, kids, future, fun and adventure, spirituality, political views and lifestyle. So all of those things matter in a relationship. I'm gonna just go around. I'm gonna ask you first, Shad. What's important to you in a relationship?
Well, I would say it is, and not in this. Well, I would say in this order: respect, communication, and affection. And the reason why I say respect is kind of like the foundation of all of those things. Like if you don't respect the person that you're with,
You don't have nothing.
you don't have anything. It's just not going to work. Like you
Right.
can't communicate effectively with somebody if you don't respect them. The affection is not going to be there if you don't respect them. Like it's not going to be genuine.
I respect that. What about you, Shay?
In a relationship, I guess it's what's important to me. Honestly, I guess it's the cliche stuff, the trust and the commitment and all that stuff. But I don't really know if that's really what makes a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like communication is good, but how many of us really know how to effectively communicate? You know, we shoot out communication, but do we really understand what communication is? We shoot out, you know, trust and commitment, but are we honest to ourselves and to the people that we committed to? But then we want to say commitment is commitment, you know. So I don't want to be too cliche, but I mean, at this point, I just want somebody who gonna love me and connect with me, and I ain't gotta tell you. You just automatically begin to learn me, and you have the ability to learn me, so that we can grow together.
Right. Okay. So let's go to the comments. Christy said trust, communication, honesty. Kayla said communication and trust. AJ said honesty, communication, and compatibility. I put my glasses on.
Awareness, understanding, and openness was David. And
I like the
that was
awareness.
David.
I like awareness. That's yeah. I think for me,
Yeah.
it would have to be communication, understanding, and vulnerability.
That's a good one. So, got a question before you move further. Because the first thing you said was communication.
Right.
My question is, and you have to be honest.
Right here, and I'll be honest. Right here.
Do you communicate effectively?
So,
It's a yes or Kevin.
I
No.
say yes. Yes. For me, I'm gonna say yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes. Now you tell me if you beg to differ.
This is
You
a really
don't.
this is a really strong
don't.
yes.
Okay.
You said who?
See, he
I said
said
that was a
yes.
really- That was a really strong yes.
Are you agreeing with him, or are you just saying that he
No,
was
no.
strong with his
I
yes?
was just saying that he answered very strongly.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna tell you, I've never been your partner, so I don't know how you communicate as a partner, but as a friend, in the middle of you and your partner, your communication on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 5, and it's barely hitting a 5. It's barely hitting a 5 because a lot of times, a lot of people, when they communicate, you know what they do, right? They communicate to respond, not to listen. And how many people in the comments will say when somebody say something, You ready to jab back instead of listening and saying, am I really like that? Did I really do that? Or are you trying to defend what they said you did? And you are most definitely the person to listen, to respond, not to hear what someone is saying.
So again,
And I love you.
I love you more. However, you're incorrect. Okay. So what's your opinion?
We can't see that.
It's a 5. It's a 5. No,
Okay.
so my opinion is a lot of people throw the term communication out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say most people say that they are excellent communicators.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I believe that they say that is because they do a lot of talking.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you're talking doesn't mean that you're communicating. Like, you may be saying how you feel, you may be saying what's wrong, you may be saying what's right, but are you listening? Are you engaged? Are you empathizing with the person? There's so many different layers to communication, and a lot of people miss most of the layers because they're, like Shay said, listening to respond. Is that how you said it?
Yes, it's listening to respond. You know the
Yeah,
thing that we said last week. You quick to talk and short to listen.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's the whole communication.
I have struggled with that for a very long time. I'm getting much better at it, but it takes practice to just
Yes.
sit there. But you can also turn into somebody that's kind of like robotic, and you don't even know how to engage with the person because you're afraid to say something because you don't want to cut the person off. Like, all those things play into communication. So it's something that you definitely have to practice.
But
So
so
I
look,
think. Okay, go ahead.
you got some feedback.
Me?
That's probably Shad again.
Wait a
What?
minute.
What?
We got some
Really?
feedback. We got some feedback.
Is that better?
Let's
Hello.
see.
Testing. Yep, that's
We're
better.
good.
That was me.
We know because it was you last week.
Wow. It be
But we
your
still
own
love
people.
you.
It be your own people.
So listen, we're gonna buy you a subwoofer, not a laptop.
But I was getting ready to say one of the biggest mistakes people do when they communication, how you do not become a robot. And I'm still getting kickback.
Still some kickback.
Did you take your echo off? Remember?
Oh.
Okay. You have to take notes. The best thing to do when you feel like you're going to get that anxiety where you anxious to talk or you anxious to respond, you have to start practicing with notes. And I'm telling you, I have not been the best listener, and I sometimes even still to this day will get caught. But at the end of the day, I catch myself. I consciously go into a conversation. Like 2 days ago, my girlfriend and I got into it. And she was talking, and everything in my body was burning up. Like, I got so hot, I had to unbutton my shirt because I wanted to say something so bad. But at the end of what she said,
It's a
she actually
feedback.
she was telling the truth. So I had to say, okay. And I had to conform to her and what we talked about. So I think taking notes is a big thing when you're having communication barriers. When you know for a fact you listen to respond, you don't listen to hear and take what they're saying to you. Take notes, and if you take notes and you start jotting things down, it'll help. It'll go a long ways, long ways for sure.
But what you have to understand is with communication. So for me, I feel like I'm different. My communication is different with my friends versus me in a relationship. You know what I mean? And especially because you guys always say that I'm judgmental. So I'm trying. So for you to say y'all got to correct me. Listen to respond, or I'm listening to act. Which one is it? I
No,
listen.
you're listening to respond.
Okay, what's the other one?
No, you're quick to talk and short to listen, pretty much. That's in a nutshell.
No,
That's
so,
what it's called.
so listen. One thing that what in the past I have to say yes. However, with the work that I've done and that I'm doing, I think I feel like I'm a phenomenal communicator because a person would never know how I'm feeling. I think a person will always know where I stand at that particular time. There's no you will never guess how I feel. If we need to talk, I'm gonna say, listen, babe, what you did was disrespectful. This is why I feel that way. If you tell me, hey, you did something to me, I'm never gonna shoot it down because one thing I have to understand is that's how you feel. And I never want your feelings, I don't never want to undermine how you feel. So I'm going to most definitely, if you tell me I did something, as a man, I'm gonna say, you know what, babe, that was never my intentions, because I'm not a malicious, I'm not a malicious person.
You're not malicious.
I'm assertive, and I know sometimes my stuff come over directly, and sometimes I can't help that. I'm a direct type of person, and I normally
be direct. Nothing's wrong with being direct.
And I even ask you sometime when I'm about to say something. I always say, Shay, how does this sound?
How many times do I tell you?
Most of the time, you say phenomenal job.
Kevin.
No, I'm
when I say stop it,
listen.
You gonna have me go back to Home Alone when that lady said, Kevin. Okay. No, stop it.
Kevin is really tooting his own horn.
No, but wait. Listen, I feel like they jumping on me, guys. I feel attacked.
No,
but I mean, there's are things that we think we can work on, but for me, I personally feel like my communication is good. Now, Shad, on the other hand, Shad said he don't talk about it. He said he forget about it. If you tell him, hey, I want to talk to you, Shad is praying and hoping you won't come and say nothing to him. He want to just sweep that under the rug. So my thing is, does that mean you have what? Okay, when you date people, everybody have their own certain thing, what they like and what they believe in. I feel like my communication might be good with you, and then I could date somebody else that may say it's wrong. Does that really mean that you need to work on something because one person said you need to work on it?
No, that doesn't mean that. I think everybody's different and you have to conform to who you're dating. It doesn't mean that you have to change who you are. It's just like when I hang out with my friends and when I go to work, I communicate differently. I can't say some of the things that I say at work. I can say everything at work with you, but I can't say what I say with you at work. I may use profanity or whatever. I think you have to conform and learn how to communicate with your partner and your person. That's a part of dating and getting to know individuals. And no, I'm not saying every time Tom, Dick, and Harry tells you that they don't like the way you communicate, you got to go to the dry eraser board and erase something off and add something on. What I am saying, you have to be conscious and cognitive of what it is that is being talked about, and you have to adjust accordingly to the environment that you're speaking in. So I mean, to me, as a friend, we still have our days where you irritate the hell out of me and you're very, I hate to say judgmental, opinionated, extremely opinionated.
We all are on this panel. We all are some opinionated people on this panel. We all are.
I'm definitely opinionated.
Hands down.
Kevin, your opinionation is a totally different opinionation.
Oh no. I have to tell you a lot of times, like,
did she say opinionation?
Yes.
I gotta go to the dictionary on this one.
Okay. When I say it's okay, it's mine, he has a different opinionation, okay?
Listen. I'm a headstrong person. I believe what I believe, but I'm not to the point where if you say something, I don't listen. I always listen to what someone tells me.
Yes.
I may not hear right away, but give me an hour or two, and I promise you it will sink in. One thing that I learned about myself is that I realized my urgency is not it's people emergency. And what I mean by my urgency is not someone's emergency, is sometimes something that we think should be done, we try to put that off on people and say, okay, this is what I want, this is what it is, and then it becomes an emergency. No, our urgency is not anyone's emergency. So that's something that I'm desperately working on. And I'm a single man, so while you single, that's the best time to work on yourself. So when you enter something new, you can enter it like, I think this time around I will enter something with a whole different mindset.
Statistics show the longer you're single, the worse your communication is because you have no one to correct your communication.
But when
I didn't write it.
When I got opinionated friends like y'all, it don't listen. I don't have to have nobody. I'm gonna always know when I'm doing good, bad.
Shay, what is your source?
Google it. Okay, Google.
Okay, all right. So I think that's interesting that they say there's no one there to correct your communication. So, say for instance, you're in a relationship and you are not communicating well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So your partner approaches you. Who's to say that you like? Where are these rules coming from? Like who makes up the rules? Like what of communication? Like you hear somebody.
You set your own rules. I think each individual set their own rules of communication, just like love.
So would you say? Because you remember last week, I think I talked about there's no relationship manual.
Yep.
So in a relationship, I agree with you, Shay. Two people may have their own style of communication.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like when you're working at a company and everybody prefers to text message.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it works. It can definitely work. In a relationship, some people believe that texting is not communication, but it is a form of communication.
Really?
If that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of people think that. They'll be like, "Oh, we can't have no relationship if we texting all the time." Well, it's kind of like, well,
I don't think you can get to know anyone personally texting.
I agree. Yeah.
However, I do think that you can get to know someone on the surface level of texting. But I wouldn't say that if I met you today that I still want to be texting you only by next week. I want to talk to you.
So this is the thing. Texting is appetizer to an entree.
Yeah.
The entree is the form.
Yeah.
The texting is the appetizer. So if I know you at work, texting suffice the communication because I know I can't hear you. So that's that little appetizer before, hey babe, I'm thinking about you. How your day going? How was lunch? How's your day? That's it. But at some point, I need to hear your voice. At some point when you off work, that texting needs to stop for me. Texting is cool, but some people want to have a serious conversation through text. And then, of course, we put our own perspective on what we think the text message is. And most of the time we're wrong because it is, you send something, now you and your feelings, now you feeling some type of way, I'm not. And so certain conversations, I don't even indulge in. I stop texting and I pick up the phone and say, hey, what's up? How you feeling? Stuff like that, because texting that's texting stuff that gets you in a world of trouble. Dylan said, he said it's not. Alexa said it's not what, Dylan? LOL. Dad said
she was asking him to specify, clarify what he meant by it's not. I think he was saying it's not a form of communication. That's what I think he was saying.
I put my glasses on, y'all. I can't see.
Come on, old man.
Michael said text allow people to interpret their own thoughts. He said interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of disagree with that.
Disagree with what part?
Well, the interpretation part. So when you read something, you read it. You just read it. It is what it is, right? Now, if you want to interpret it and say that it's something else, that's totally up to you. Now,
I think what he's saying is the tone of it. Like you
Well,
can read a text message. Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. The interpretation of you interpreting him saying, or somebody saying, you can get your shit and get out of here. Or they saying, hey, you can come and get your things and you can go where you may want to go. So at this
okay.
point, I read what you said and I interpreted it as you basically telling me, come get my shit and get the hell out of your house. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I think that's what he
I
meant.
get that. That
So
makes a lot of sense.
Alexis said she read the tone. How do you read a tone to a text
Yes. Easy, what I just said.
message?
You can get somebody. I remember I said, I love you. And then I said, you, and the number 2.
Uh-huh.
And it was taken the entirely wrong way, as if I was being dry, versus saying, I love you, and then saying and then you, and then 2. It was taken like, okay, so you ain't even got enough energy to text me, I love you too. You go text me IUT or IU too. Yeah, that's some bullshit. So the tone can be taken wrong when I could have been busy at work. I could have been in the middle of a meeting.
That response sounds like something else is going on.
Ah, shut up.
Yeah, you know what? See, to me, texting make me nervous because I often feel like people hide behind texting because sometimes people can't communicate effectively. They want to text, they want to use these texting, and then when I'm talking to you, like this is one thing I hate.
Kayla.
If I'm talking to you and you send me a damn emoji, that's gonna piss me the hell off. If we talking about something serious and I'm telling you, expressing myself, and you send me a damn man doing this or something, that's gonna piss me off.
Why?
Yeah,
It's 2022. I text emojis all day.
But the other thing is, Kevin, now let's back up. You just talked about people having serious conversations via text message.
Yeah.
So if you are having a serious conversation during text message is a whole experience. It's kind of like, I'm 40. Back in the day, we were the ones that created this LOL, LMAO, all that stuff, WYD, all that. We created all of that. So we understand that language. So the informal part of text messaging is not really informal to us. It's just kind of like a shorthand kind of thing. But with the experience comes with this new thing of like emojis. That's how we express ourselves through text messaging. It makes it a little bit easier. Because if I'm angry, I'm going to send a little red angry face.
Listen, I'm 39 years old.
How old are you?
I'm 39.
Okay.
So a lot of these, what you call them, shorthand texts, I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? I know LOL, LMAO. I think that's the 2 I know. All this other stuff, I don't even be knowing what the hell they said. I literally have to talk to my nephew and say, what's ATM mean? They try to get my money. He like, no, that mean at the moment. I don't know this stuff. I'm ATM.
Who is Alexis? Who is that? Who is Alexis? Who is Alexis?
That's his cousin. Is that your cousin or niece?
Yes, it's one of my cousins.
That's all she said. See, Kevin, you confused. You don't want to listen or text. So
now I'm gonna tell y'all, Alexis is the one. Alexis is the one we want on the show.
Alexis,
bring her on, okay? Get in the box.
Alexis, next week be ready. You coming? I want no excuses. You coming? But yeah, I don't know. I prefer talking. The texting of pacifiers. Temporary. But most definitely, I want to talk on the phone because talking on the phone can kind of give me a perspective of, where you at, what you're doing, and all of that stuff. What's up, Terrell? What's going on, man? He says, writing to express yourself can be misconstrued if you're not careful. Even in work email, you have to be cautious of how you word an email so that you don't come off rude. Certain conversations are not meant to be texted about, especially while getting to know someone because you're still learning them. I
Yes, I totally agree, Terrell.
absolutely agree with
Totally
you
agree. 1,000.
110%.
Hmm.
So outside of communication, what about sex and intimacy? Because
Hmm.
oftentimes people get sex and intimacy mixed up, right? I
Yeah,
think a lot of people know how to have sex. That's easy to do. Go ahead
yeah.
and knock it down. But people don't know how to, I don't know what intimacy is. So tell me, Shay, what's your perspective of what sex and intimacy is to you?
I think intimacy is deeper. Obviously, to me, that's a connection. That's somebody who you have spiritually and emotionally. When they say those soul ties that you have, that's the intimacy
Mhm.
of that person where you're aroused by communicate, like talking, and it has nothing to do with touch. It's just the fact that they standing over there next to the coffee machine, and you don't even know the intimacy of me. Like, I just want to come over there and, what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with me just wanting to sleep with you. It's
Shay,
it's
I can tell you're
the
a little passionate about this.
because I am so in love with my baby. Okay. I truly have an intimacy with her where we can lay in the bed and we can watch TV and I can rub on her and she can rub on me. And it doesn't have anything to do with sex. It's strictly, I love her touch. I love her smell. I love her to be around me. That's the
Hmm.
intimacy of it. And then, I can have my days where I done left the wood and had too many James and I turned it upside down. Okay. So then that's a whole different story.
Wait, we gotta
That's the
wait.
difference.
We gotta talk about the turning upside. I'm getting a visual, and
That's the after show. That's the
we got
after
okay,
show. That's the after
That's
okay.
show.
for grown people. Keep
That's
it
the after
moving.
show.
Keep it moving, Shad. Next, you.
Yeah.
So
What's your what's your
so I would say that sex is the physical part of it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's just all physical. So that's the easy part. And then you say that, Shay, like the sex is
The easy part. Yeah.
Kevin said that. Yeah, sex is like super easy. Like you can have sex by yourself. It's it's not hard. The intimacy, I agree with Shay. The like attraction, the emotional connection, like
Mm-hmm.
she said, the smell, the like laying next to a person. Now, this is gonna be like touch, but like when you land next to somebody, they got their leg on you, or you got your leg on them. Like it's sort of like that's amazing. Like you don't get to do that with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just like you walk in the door and you see a person and you just smile. Like
Instantly brighter. It's just like your
this
whole
is
day is
this is
just,
the
yeah.
person I'm with.
Yes.
This is amazing, and nobody else matters.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
look, Alexis said. She said, "As soon as I smell that Jean Paul, it's over." Hey, look, I want that as a Christmas gift. Okay, I want the Lamel.
I do not like that cologne.
It's amazing.
I gotta
No, no.
smell it. That's what you want, Kevin?
That's one of the four. You get the Burberry
You
hat and
got
scarf.
it. You
Burberry
got
hat and
it.
scarf. You can get that one.
What?
You get the Burberry hat and scarf.
Nah. See, you try to give me the most expensive shit. I might as well just buy my own machine. Hell.
Y'all, I'm running out of wine.
My aunt said emojis are confusing, but talking definitely can clear things up. I agree, Auntie. Um, it's I don't know. I'm a direct person, so for me, direct communication it solve everything. Sometimes there's been times Shay and I talked and she was in her feelings about something but then once we
Shut
talked
up.
about
Keep
it,
it moving.
she was like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I understand that." And see, what I tell her all the time, men and women emotions are totally different. And what she may be emotional about is really nothing to me. But I still have to understand, you know what I mean? That okay, this is how she feels, and I have to take that into consideration that this is, she's a crybaby, and I understand that. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Are we still live?
I am not a crybaby. Okay,
You
I
know I
don't be
love
crying. I just be checking him, and
that.
then he can look at me like I'm being extra, but I have to check him, and put him in his place because what you ain't gonna do is try to make me feel like I ain't made the right decision about some
Do you
stuff.
feel
Okay,
like you're extra, Shay?
Be honest. This is the BMC.
I
Yes.
do.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
was about to say the hair hanging down, the bun, the earrings. That's extra.
This is regular stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
The
Jesus.
hell?
I'm messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
We're not supposed to get on here with a red do
You
rag.
not see how ashy my hands are?
Yeah, we saw him last week too. No, we're messing with you. So listen, how,
Thank you, Alexis. See, when I say come on the show with me, I need some girl. I need a woman here who
I
ain't
agree.
feeling like we got to battle, who ain't feeling like we got to be in competition.
I
We just here to
love
have a good time.
an
I'm looking for
extra
another
woman.
co-host. Okay.
Extra is what makes a person. Like that's what puts them over the top. Like everybody needs a little extra.
everybody have an over the top moment. I think like you may be over the top when it comes to parties. Some people over the top when it comes to dressing. I think everybody have that over the top type situation. I think everybody can be over the top in their situation. So let me ask you guys this: how important is spirituality in a
Very.
relationship?
So after losing my mom, I will say this. I've had a very hard struggle with getting back into church. Extremely hard. Like this has been the most difficult challenge for me, and yet I'm still struggling with getting a connection back with God because I feel like he took my mom away from me, and I know naturally he didn't really take her, but I still blame him. So I'm angry with him, and I haven't been able to settle that anger inside of me. So, and my mom's she's passed like 6 months ago. So I'm still angry. And I haven't read a Bible. I haven't been to church, but it's still important to me. And I just want to be able to get past this so that I can get back to my spirituality because I'm struggling. In that space, I'm just stuck. I'm in this place where I'm stuck and I can't get past it.
I think that's okay. I think you're experiencing like you're mourning and you're healing at the same time.
Okay.
6 months.
It's fresh.
That's. I thought you were going to say 6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
No, seriously. Okay, so let me give you an example why I thought you were going to say 6 years. About 7 years ago, I was at church in Michigan. This pastor was on stage and he was talking about basically the message was being fake because real women be real because fake is exhausting. So he was talking about how he was being fake as a pastor. He would be on stage, hallelujah, glory to God, all that, and then he would go backstage and just go off on his wife. And he had a book. I bought the book, and then I was like, something's not quite right with me. Like I think that I'm experiencing this fakeness, and I need to be more real. So I decided to take a year off of church. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I have a connection with God. Like that is the connection that I have. That's my spirituality. However, that 1 year turned into 6 years. And I was like, I don't feel like going back. Like there's something, there were so many things that happened to me that was traumatic. Like I experienced, like my therapist said, it sounds like you're experiencing trauma, like the post-traumatic syndrome,
Yeah.
but from the
What is
church.
that? PTSD?
Yeah,
PTSD.
like church, it's like church PTSD. And
Yes,
a lot of people,
yes.
yeah, a lot of people don't realize that that's
Oh
a
my
real
God,
thing.
yes.
But even if you are angry, with God, it may not be, oh my God, Alexis, that's crazy. It may not be because it may not be that you're angry with God. I mean, you're saying that, but it might be that you're angry because God allowed it to happen.
It happened.
You know,
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
kind of like slavery. Like, I know that God is real, but I'm like, why would he allow this to happen? Like, how is this even possible? You know
Yeah,
what I
it's like
mean?
a rabbit hole.
so
I
listen,
go into
Yeah,
this rabbit hole.
it just keeps
Yeah,
going and going and going.
yeah.
so Dr. Cole, if you still here, would you be able to elaborate on that or jump in real quick and kind of break that down for us?
Doctor Who?
Dr. Cole, he's a pastor also.
Oh, it's
Um,
somebody. Oh, I thought you. I'm like,
Who
who?
is Doctor?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So, but I get it. You know, in a relationship, I don't go to church every Sunday. However, when I tell you God is the head of my life, I pray to God. God loves me. Do I have a church home? I do not. However, if I found a church home, I most definitely would go. You know, but like you guys, I've suffered church PTSD. You know, I had a situation where um I was very active in this particular church. I was even my church armor bearer, my pastor's armor bearer, and you know, paying tithes, paying offering, and all this stuff. And something happened in the church with a family member of mine that did something to like the pastor's daughter, right? And in doing that, once everybody found out, they didn't just condemn him, they condemned everybody that was associated. But because that was my in-law, they condemned us for that.
Yeah,
And they stopped talking to us. And it's like, dang, this is a place where I came to worship. This is a place that, you know, I learned and I gave my tithes, my offering. This is a place I was vulnerable in, you know what I mean? Especially with my spirituality. And it's it was really trying. But I can say in a relationship, we have to be on the same page spiritually, because if you tell me you don't love the Lord or nothing like that, then I don't think that we can move forward in our relationship. You don't have to be a church goer, but you have to be a Lord lover, if that makes sense.
it does make sense. I'm I think a little differently.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it.
I think people. I think we or myself, I allow people to be themselves.
Mhm.
So if you choose to not believe in what I believe in, that's okay. It's sort of like if I'm a Republican or a Democrat and somebody else that I'm dating is something else, that's okay as long as we remain respectful and not kind of like talk down or talk against each other's beliefs. Like I know this couple, it's actually my mechanic in Detroit. He's Muslim, like straight up, like Dearborn Muslim. And he was talking about his wife, and she came up to the shop one day, and she I just noticed she didn't have the hijab on, and she just looked like a regular white woman. I'm like, he's like, yeah, she's a Christian. And I'm like, what? It kind of blew my mind because a Muslim and a Christian like in the same house.
Yeah, it's totally different.
I just thought that was just crazy. I never forgot that. Like you can be together and have some differences. Now, the people that are saying, I don't know if I can do that, there are some very interesting differences that people have, like opinions and things that they don't talk about. Like they won't say
Yeah.
anything because they know they're going to lose their partner. And we make a big deal about spirituality, but why? I don't think it should matter, where you go to church, who you worship, as long as it's not affecting me. Now, if you're really like in tune with your spirituality, all the other stuff is not gonna it's not gonna matter to me. Now, if you're a devil worshiper, that's cool. It's not gonna affect me because you're gonna be getting prayed on while you sleep.
Nah, that would so
Oil gonna be dripping on your head.
I have to disagree with you. I would never date an atheist if you don't believe in God, because guess what? You can cause my blessing to not happen. You know what I mean? If I'm praying, if we travel,
I'm not one to necessarily.
nah. If we're traveling and I'm praying for traveling mercies, and you like, I ain't no Jesus, and then the car flip over. Nah. We have to be, again. We don't have to go to the same. We don't have to go to church, but we do need to believe in the same thing. For me. Go ahead, Shay.
I respect what Shad said. However, I totally disagree. Only because, and I want to 100% quote the Bible, because I do feel like through the years, man has changed the Bible and the words up. But I do like the verse where he says to not be unequally yoked. And I feel like when you're unequally yoked, it causes a disadvantage, because you're not balanced. It's like a scale where you hear and they hear, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And y'all teeter-tottering the entire relationship because you don't vote and they vote. So when this person lose, you turning around saying we could have won if we had that one vote, not really knowing, if in fact really, was that vote really going to matter?
Right.
It just creates this disconnection in a relationship that I do feel is so vital when you're dating, when you're marrying. Are we thinking about the same goals? Are we thinking about the same credit scores? Are we thinking about the same areas we want to live in? You can't want to live in China. I want to live in Mexico. You know what I'm saying?
Those things are very important.
So I think that to a certain extent, being an atheist and being a Christian will definitely create some discord, where you guys are not balanced, and it'll cause some type of friction that I don't think is healthy in a trying to achieve a healthy relationship. I
agree, Shay. So when you talk about spirituality and like the scripture you quoted about being on one accord, I can't remember the exact context of that scripture, so I won't really harp on. I ain't gonna say much about it. But what do you think about? And this is for the both of y'all. How do you feel about, say, for instance, you're in a relationship and you have children, right?
Mm-hmm.
One parent is a disciplinarian, not necessarily abusive, and the other parent is just whatever, just let's just roll with it. They're children.
Yeah.
And I think there is a thin line between unequally yoked and not being aligned in your
parenting.
Your parenting, yeah. So it kind of goes that way in relationships, because there are so many things that we can be aligned on, but a lot of times people in relationships, they fight things, especially people that are rebellious, stubborn people. They don't want to do what their partner wants to do, even if it's the right thing to do. And that whole unequally yoked thing, it plays an important role in the relationship. So I would agree with you, Shay. I'm just a firm believer of allowing people to be themselves. And sometimes you need to be yourself alone. You know what I mean?
So being yourself to me is you don't eat onions and I do. That's being yourself. Being yourself to me is you drink tea in the morning, I drink coffee. You not being yourself and you like the devil and I like God. Yeah, nah, that ain't us being ourselves.
And even parenting, and listen, being equally yoked is important. So, for instance, if you're a parent, right? I tell my kid he can't go to the movies, right? And he asks you, and you say he can go to the movie. So I'm sitting down and I'm looking, and you come in the door like I'm about to jump down his throat. Like, what are you doing? I told you not to go. And you say, well, mom or whomever told me I can. That's going to cause an issue. because now I'm pissed off. And I'm mad at both of y'all because you know what I told you. So I told you something you shouldn't be going to ask nobody else. And now I'm mad at you because you are not supposed to be on the same page. So being unequally yoked will cause a lot of issues in a relationship.
It does. It says it's in 2 Corinthians. It's 6:14. It says, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light and with darkness?" So I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't, like I said,
Alexis said I need
it's
anger
part of
management.
the Bible. It's definitely part of the Bible. I be like, okay, is this like some Jesus, God really said, or is this something man-made? At the end of the day, some of these things I do believe, regardless of whether they were reworded. Just pretty much don't be off balance with anybody. If you want to have a good credit score, get with you somebody who want a good credit score. Even if they may not have it, they want it. If you want somebody, if you want to have a career, you want to have your own business, get with somebody who they may not have their own business now, but they say, hey, you know what? I know what it takes to get there. Be with somebody who comfortable at being at Benihana's serving tables, and you want to do more. Y'all gonna run into issues because you gonna be running and they gonna be walking. It's called Who Moved My Bus, where you got 5 different people on the bus. You got a runner, you got a jogger, you got a walker, you got a rider, and then you have a person who's actually driving the bus. You got to get the people who want to run and who want to drive. I don't even want no walkers on my damn bus. Okay, I don't even want no joggers on my bus. I want somebody who's like me, because if I'm a runner and I get a jogger, guess what? They still behind me. But if I get a runner and I'm a runner, we running together. We on the same thing. We trying to get the same goal, and we go get there at the same time. So I do believe that whether you feel like it affects you, it indirectly affects you. Yeah. Where it you may not.
I agree. I think it kind of boils down to it's a little off topic, but it's still in the same vein. Boundaries. A lot of people in relationships don't set boundaries. It's sort of like requirements in everyday life. So I talk about this to my friends and people that I mentor about requirements. So myself, I wear a size 13 shoe. One of my requirements is the shoe has to be sturdy and it has to be able to withstand the way that I walk. My legs are a little bowed, so I'm a little rough on shoes, right? So with that sturdiness comes a price tag. Like, I cannot buy cheap shoes. That's my requirement. Now, you have some people out there that requires $1,500 at all times so they can get out of jail. That's just their requirement. And like in relationships, a requirement might be, or a boundary might be, my partner needs to understand that I'm an entrepreneur and I cannot be at the club with you every weekend because I'm doing XYZ. That's my requirement. Now, somebody else might have a different set of requirements, but that's just how I am. And the person that I'm with, they have to understand that if they want to be with me. Well, that's just how that works.
Okay, so if you are an entrepreneur and this person is a clubber, right? That needs to be established in the beginning. I think oftentimes a lot of times people get with people and think they can change people.
Yes.
A lot of people get with people and say, you know what? I'm a goal driven, I'm career driven. This person don't want nothing, but guess what? When they see that I can see that I want it, it's gonna change their mind and I can get them. No. Start taking people for face value. And you can't be in a situation where you can manipulate a person or get somebody to do. No, if we first talk, I'm getting to know you. I'm listening to you. So I'm trying to figure out if your goals and aspirations match up with mine. If you tell me, hey, no, I love the club and this, I love to drink and I love to smoke weed, that's cool. But if it's not something that I do then I already see that being an issue. If you know what I mean, sometimes you just
Right.
have to leave well enough alone and talk to people that has similarities and commonalities, and you can't change people because a lot
No,
of
you
us,
cannot.
a lot of us, including myself in the past, have thought that I could change this person. Yeah, they do that now, but you can't change people, you know. So, how important is being on the same page? And we kind of kind of
Mhm.
expounded on it earlier. What about when it comes to political views? Could a Democrat and a Republican be together?
I don't care about that.
You don't.
Yeah.
You
No,
don't.
I don't care
that
about
doesn't.
that either.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I mean,
I
it's.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It matters to me because, and listen, unless you don't bring that to
I,
because listen, in the climate that we in, right? If you know this person is crazy and pretentious and doing all of this stuff, but still you're gonna vote for them, and I'm voting for what's right and stuff. That's gonna create an issue for me.
so I'm going to tell you this. I didn't like. I didn't like Trump, but there are things about him. There's things about his way. There were things that he thought that I was like, okay. I voted for Biden because we ain't had nobody else. I'm gonna be honest. If I had somebody else I could have voted for, I would have most definitely not voted for Father Time. Okay, he was way too old to be trying to lead any group of people. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, it is what it is.
he's like 97 years old.
Honey, he's
No,
old as dirt.
he's 80, and we're not gonna do Biden like
He's
this.
honey. So
He's
when I
old.
say if my partner wanted to vote for somebody else, I mean, I would have been like, okay, baby, I get it. I understand. You don't want to vote for Father Time. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so yeah, yeah. I really don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's it.
I
Okay.
I I'm gonna say I do care.
I care too.
Are you serious?
Hell
The
yeah.
interest the interesting thing
You
about
care about politics but not spirituality? I'm gonna hang up on you. Cut him off.
Who
cut
me?
me off, hit the button,
Yeah.
hit the button.
Listen,
So
I want that damn stimulus check. That's why it's
Okay.
important. Too.
Listen,
I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't
Shad want
qualify.
that stimulus, baby.
Thank God I don't qualify for a stimulus check. But listen, it's the talking about it that get to me with
That part.
with the Republicans. So I have some friends that are black. They're Republicans. I
Mhm.
love them. I think they're amazing. However, when they start talking about Democrats, they always result to Democrats don't know how to think for themselves. I don't want to hear that.
Right.
I don't want to hear that at all because I know that I can think for myself,
Mhm.
and that's just the bottom line. Now, when you're in a regular setting like a social event, you're at the dinner table. It's always somebody that's going to bring up something crazy about the political climate. And it's just like, we don't want to hear that. And it's usually a Republican that's doing it. They want to voice their opinion. They want to do this. They want to do that. But, you know, y'all just stay where y'all at. Just be quiet. That's how I feel about it.
Now I think it could work because I was always raised. You don't discuss religion and you don't discuss politics. So if you are have a different political view than I have, then we know that this is an area that we do not discuss. As long as we vote in our household, whoever we voting for, fine. But being at the dinner table, coffee table, no, we're not gonna have any. We can't talk about that because it's gonna fire up a different type of
First of
conversation.
all, let's be clear. And I don't care who get mad. They can get mad all they want to. I really don't care. Because I'm just like that. It's a lot of black people who vote Republican just because they think Republicans all got money. They don't even be knowing. When you ask them why you like Trump, you be like, that ain't true. I know more about Donald Trump and I ain't even a Republican. So it's like, unfortunately, our brains have been wired to go with whatever's the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? If I think that all Republicans are white and I'm gonna get some brownie points because I'm sitting with all the white people over at the table and I say I like Trump, I'm gonna go and say I'm a Republican. But when I ask you, what was Trump's biggest gripe? What was his issue? What was his concerns? What was he going to do for the environment? What was it? You can't tell me shit. All you can tell me is that they had a riot or a stampede or whatever the hell they called it over at the damn what was it called?
The insurrection.
Insurrection.
Over at the damn
Capitol.
Whatever. Yeah. Listen, when I tell you, that's all you can tell me. I be like this.
Well, a lot of times this is just a whole bunch of like political jargon. Like you're like, what? Huh?
That's
and
why I
you know what,
so lost.
Shay, I agree with you. When you were talking about
the damn screen.
Donald Trump, some of his concepts were good, but Donald Trump as a person and his execution was terrible.
If he would just shut the hell up, I'm like, bruh, you would have people who actually follow you.
He could have been a really good president. He could have been a really good president.
I disagree. So next, we got to move on because I don't want to fall out with the panel, right? So let's go to the next situation. How important, and we talked about this before, is it ever important to have, should your person you're in a relationship with know everything financially about you?
You got muted, Shay.
I had to mute her. See,
it was a strong.
I know it was my kid. He was ripping the plastic off of his salad. I didn't want you guys to hear it, so okay. I muted myself.
So should a person ever know everything about a person financially? For me, no.
I tell my girlfriend everything when I get my bonuses.
Oh, you crazy? You crazy? You crazy?
I don't. You know why? Because it's my money. It goes in my account, and if I don't want to give you none of my money, guess what? You ain't getting it. I ain't afraid to say no, and I ain't gotta have what I got. It's crazy. All good to me because we got separate accounts, so I'm good.
It doesn't matter. When you tell people, see, one thing that I've learned, you don't tell everything. Now, I agree. If you living together, we should have a joint account where bills go, so that way I'm feeling safe, you feeling safe, because we know our household is good. But are you gonna know that every bonus that comes through? No, you're not gonna know that. I don't think that's important. Like, I don't think I should know.
Tell me why.
Tell me why. Because I just think that nothing but right. I just think some things people sometimes get in relationships and lose their identity. I think people have to tell people, some people can't do nothing without their partner. They can't travel without their partner.
Kevin, shut up. You're trying to throw shots. Don't get, when I say don't get cut off your own show. Okay.
You gonna cut them off? You gonna press a button?
No, listen. Some people can't do anything without their partner. They can't. And I think financially, you don't know. Just know that this one account that our bills is paid, we're good. And anything else we do, we good. But you don't have to know everything.
Guess what? I tell my girlfriend everything as far as my money go, and I still got my coins in my account, and I do what I want to do with my money. She does what she want to do with her money, but I like to let her know, and she lets me know just in case if I need something comes up, I'm able to talk about that. We live together. I don't hide anything from her. That's like going to the doctor and finding out you got COVID, but you hide it. Like, why? I mean, at the end of the day, is it benefiting you any? Not telling? Like, who gives a shit? It's your money. So if you don't want to share your money, then don't share your money. But then we talk about, guess what? Everybody who says no, don't tell nobody. The first people to say, communication, trust, honesty, bullshit. That's why I say it's bullshit when people be sitting here talking about, I want communication. You can't want communication when you want to hide what the hell you get.
But essentially you're not hiding, because we have an account. We have an account, our account that we pays things, right? But anything extra, I mean, why? Because I don't know. That's the case. I need to know exactly what you're telling me is our personal account. I need to know exactly how much you have in there.
So what? Have it. Look at it. I don't give a shit.
But why?
Why not?
Because my main concern is this joint account that we have that we paying stuff. I don't care what you have in that account. Long as I know the household account is fine. I don't. Okay.
That's very interesting. I think of it a little differently. I think if you are going to quote unquote do life together, then that's what you should do. I'm a firm believer of if I have it, you have it. There's no like a lot of I've noticed a lot of relationships where I've seen it with my own eyes. One partner is like, oh, I can't afford to travel, but they with somebody that's a 6-figure earner, and it's like, wait, whoa, like how is it possible that your partner is able to travel, but you are not able to travel?
Now that's crazy.
I agree, but with that whole like I'm not going to tell you how much I make, or I'm not going to tell you about my bonuses.
You can know how much I make. That's fine. I think that's important. I think that's important because knowing how much you make, you know how to. Because I don't believe in 50-50. Nothing in relationships are 50-50. Because you can't tell me if a person making $100,000 and you making $20,000 and our rent is $2,000 a month, I expect you to pay $1,000 with me. No, I don't believe that. However, what I do believe is that you're going to do your part, whatever that part is. You know what I mean? So me knowing what you make, I know what it is I need to do. And so you're not overwhelmed. I'm not overwhelmed. Go ahead.
Question. Why not tell them?
Not tell them about how much you make. That's fine. I'm saying like if I get an extra bonus, I got a 5,000.
Why?
But why? Why should I?
Why?
Why would you not?
Me personally, I think in this, I can be wrong.
We're attacking you, by the way.
Wrong. I think everybody should have their own personal rainy day. Anything can happen. Relationship, marriages is not promised to anybody.
What do you mean having
you need your own rainy day? You need your own personal rainy day go-to fund.
But who's saying you have to share your own my money in my account right now? My girlfriend knows how much is in it. She can't go in it.
It doesn't. Well, that's yours. For me, you gonna know how much I make. We have a joint account. But if I get a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 bonus, I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, babe, I got this." No,
Why not?
I'm just not. But I know what you need. And I know what you want. Yeah, that's just me. I'm not.
So do me a favor, and everybody who agrees with not communicating your bonus, take communication off your list. Take trust off your list. Take transparency off your list. You can't have those things, but then you hide. I got a $7,000 bonus that's in your personal account with your personal card with your personal name. You can't ask for transparency, communication, and honesty, but then say I'm gonna hide that I got a bonus.
But you're not. But listen, you're not. How are you hiding something in which you're being honest? You know how much I make, so you know what I bring.
Stop playing though.
But if I get a bonus, like I'm just not that guy.
That's hiding.
No, I'm not that guy that I'm gonna tell everything. No. Like they're not, and if you give a person full control over your finance, that's you.
But why do people keep saying that you're giving somebody control over something, dude? If my name is on my account and it's my money, my girlfriend can't go. It's just me simply saying, "Hey, baby, I got an extra $5,000 bonus today." If I don't want to spend my $5,000 on her, I don't have to. You don't have to. To me, that's a weak ass excuse because you don't want to be a man or a woman enough to say, I don't want to do something that you want me to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide behind what I got because I don't want to have to tell you no, or I don't want to have to say I don't want to do something instead of just saying, I don't want to do it, and I don't want to give you no money. So then that becomes a weak ass excuse. Again, goes back to communication. Don't ask me for full transparency and honesty and commitment, but you don't want to tell me, hey, I got a $5,000 bonus and I'm gonna blow all this shit on me.
Well, but guess what? If you did do that, that would be perfectly okay.
Perfectly fine.
That's perfectly fine if you did that. But however, you know how much I make. You know our joint account, which is our bills and what our personal things we do together. That's what that account for. That account is fine. I don't have to tell you verbatim this, and this, and this.
It's lying, it's being deceitful, and it's hiding shit, and that's fake.
Yeah.
Period.
I
mean, but be by yourself. Be by yourself. If you don't want to share your financial with your person that you're living with.
But the minute you divorce, you're gonna be sitting up there crying because now they know everything about it. And if you make way more money than you're gonna have to pay up.
So you're talking about
how that works.
You're talking about the aftermath of things, and we can't go off of if somebody divorces us. We was talking about strictly somebody living with us. We ain't say nothing about no damn divorce. No.
Okay.
Wait. Pause for a moment. The whole divorce issue, it kind of depends on the state that you live in. So in the state of Georgia, when you're married, the assets get split 50-50, no matter what. It doesn't matter if this $20 million mansion is in your name and the $2,000 car is in their name. It doesn't matter. The assets get split 50-50.
So hold on.
Unless you agree to do it differently, or if there's like a prenuptial agreement, or there could be something else like cheating, things like that kind of plays a factor into it. But that's just marriage.
So let me ask you this, Shaq. So if you're a millionaire, if you're a millionaire, right? Yeah. And just say the person you divorced made, I don't know, $50,000. You're a millionaire. You mean to tell me that $1 million, you have to split that evenly with them?
If it's in the bank. Yes.
Oh, wow.
But why are we even worried? But why are we even entering into a relationship worried about it ending?
Well,
I'm all confused.
That's the issue that I have. I'm
all confused.
Well, not even
a relationship, like it goes back to what I said about doing life together. If you are going to, this is just my opinion, if you're going to be with that person, I excuse me, I prefer, and this is totally Shad. I'm not forcing this on anybody. You can agree, you can disagree, whatever. I prefer to share everything. Like, we're already sharing the house, we're sharing the bills, we sharing sex, we sharing fluids. What's the difference with us sharing money?
You're not sharing. You're sharing your money. They know how much you get. Okay,
that's not sharing.
If you bought $10,000 home a month, the agreement is me putting $5,000 in there. I've done my part, and I'll probably put in extra just to make sure that we're okay, because that's the kind of person I am anyway. If the count we agree to put 3,000, I'm gonna put 4,000 just to make sure if something happened and whatever, we're gonna be okay. However, if I get a little $3,000-$4,000 bonus, am I going to be the one to say, "Hey, babe, I just got this $4,000 bonus"? I probably would not. Would I do something special for them? Because that money's not going in that. That's going to my personal account, right? And that's just me. I dated somebody that I asked them. Somebody said pension. Well, I dated somebody and I asked about a pension. They thought I wanted their pension. No, but so I think when I thought about the situation, it's really none of my business. You know what I mean?
Just live by this rule, and we can end this conversation, because at this point, you have to do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And if you're in a relationship with a person who, if you're in a relationship with a person, and you're with Shad or you're with me, whatever, and we hit the lottery for $1 million and don't tell you, how the fuck would you feel? Everybody who's quick to say, don't say nothing and don't tell nobody about your money, it's private. If your person you lay down with every single night goes and gets a scratch off and hits for $1 million and do not tell you, how would you feel? You ain't got to answer it now because I know what you'll feel like, but it's all good. Y'all can front and say, y'all don't care. It ain't no big deal. All of that. But reality is you'll be mad as fuck if your partner hit for $1 million and didn't tell you. I know you would. And everybody that's quick to say, you ain't got to tell me, they're lying.
Well, listen, I think, but hold on. The caveat to that is, if they did hit and you didn't know, and as long as I feel like being with somebody, you're going to reap the benefits to certain things, right? That's just me. I don't have to know that. Remember, I'm an independent person. I think a lot of times people, as long as my bills and stuff, my home is taken care of, would I want to know? Yes. But do I have to know? No. There's a difference. I don't. Long as that main account has money in it, I'm good.
So they leave you. Let's say they get the $1 million. They stay with you for a year. They leave you. And you find out they hit for $1 million. You ain't going to be mad.
So I can't answer that. You know why I probably would be mad?
How about we change the rules and you have to answer it?
Well, of course, in that case, look what she said. I mean, if somebody leave me and I didn't, I'm like, of course you're going to be angry. You go for the juggler. Because doing breakups, that's what people do.
But why would you be upset that a person didn't share with you about the money they won? They didn't share with you when y'all was together. Tell me why.
No. Listen, long as my money not touched, I care less. That's your money. I'm gonna be okay regardless. In the relationship and out the relationship, I'm gonna be okay. So even if you did hit $1 million, I'd be like, well, damn, I could have went for more. In my mind. But guess what? I'm going to be okay because I'm going to make sure Kev is okay. I'm going to make sure we okay.
It's easy said now, but I can guarantee you I'm almost talking 99% of everybody that's on this live is going to be upset if they was with someone who did not tell them they won $100,000 or $1 million. I know for a fact. You can bullshit me all day.
I just don't believe in telling I just don't believe in telling every little thing.
All that, as long as my bills are paid, I don't care. That's bullshit.
It really is, because the bills being paid, that's the responsible thing to do as an adult. If you're responsible, it's kind of like that's just going to get done by default.
But that's a us account though too. That's bills, traveling. That's a us account for us to do stuff. So if we want to go to London, that's our us account. We can. What you have in your account, you know what I mean?
But a person who hit $1 million and they leave you and you got an us account and all your bills paid, in your mind, you gonna think, bitch, really? You hit $1 million and all you gave me was the regular money you normally give me. You couldn't give me more.
And let's put the cherry on top. Your credit is bad too.
I see.
And your credit is bad.
See,
you couldn't help me more, but they paid your bills. But they paid y'all bills. Okay. Yeah. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, moral to the story is treat people how you want to be treated. Mm-hmm. Don't look at your money as this object that's all, the do all and be all of your relationship, because each one of us on this panel make phenomenal money. Let's be clear. Mm-hmm. Neither one of us on here, all three of us make very, very good money. Mm-hmm. However, I can lose it, you can lose it, and Shad can lose it. Mm-hmm. I don't base anybody's love, our affection, our legacy off of our money. That's why I'm so transparent with it, because I can lose it as quick as I can get it. And when you have people that tie their status up in their money, They're tied. They tie their existence up in their money. They're tied their who they are and how they feel up in their money. Those are the people that you need to stay away from because they talk a good game about communication. They talk a good game about transparency, but it's all bullshit. They don't mean any of it. It sounds good and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you have to truly be ready for a relationship when you say, I want to commit and I want to be transparent. Period.
Damn, we like 22 minutes over. I think we probably should.
It's a
It
good
does.
conversation.
Thank you. Because that sounds stupid, but okay.
It's a good
I
conversation.
said, hey, baby, I want $1 million, but my money, that's my money, and I have to spend it on you.
Stay single.
Listen, you tell a person they want $1 million, they're gonna be on your ass. If you
Well,
hit,
you know what?
If you hit for $1 million, say if you hit for $1 billion, 50 million, you're gonna have to get you a hotel room and not tell nobody. You know why? Because Alexis gonna be on your ass, Shay gonna be on your ass. I'm gonna find you, so I ain't gonna be on your ass.
I'm cool. People, you know what Michael said, what works for everybody doesn't, what works for some people don't work for everybody else. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just feel like if you say communication, you have to be, you can't pick and choose what you want people to communicate on.
But
you can't say, well, I want you to communicate on, your credit score, and I want you to communicate on your health, and I want you to communicate on all of this other stuff. But then in the same breath, say, hey, you can hide $5,000 and I'm okay with that. It just doesn't make sense.
It all depends on how a person runs their own personal relationship.
And I have to agree with that. Yeah,
because
you're right.
Like you and I talk, even about the whole traveling stuff. You and I think differently. I don't have to I believe I can go on a friend's trip. My partner don't have to go everywhere with me. We don't. I have a life outside of you. So when I'm with my friend,
I believe that too, Kevin. I do agree with you on that.
But some people feel like their spouse that's it, their spouse. But I encourage whomever I'm with, go ahead and do your family trip. I don't have to go. If your mom, dad, and siblings want to go, if I'm invited, cool. But go ahead and go. Or this, but it all depends on how you run your situation. That's what it boils down to. What I agree, you may not. She may agree, she may not. So when you meet a person, those are things. If that's important to you, you have to talk about those things and see if a person agrees. And if y'all unequal about it, then that means that the person not for you. I agree. Cuz she said that's why you talk about it in the beginning. You talk about all those things. Finance.
I don't believe that sometimes things change, even when you talk about things in the beginning. The dynamics of the relationship could change, and someone could breach trust. And at that point, it's kind of like, it's just the relationship is just not the same anymore. But a person with integrity will keep doing what they said they were going to do.
Right.
But I believe that there is, how everybody talks about energy. I think there's a lot of like single energy that people have. They continue to operate like they're single when they're in a relationship. Yes. And a lot of times that is why they stay single. Like like their relationships are revolving doors. Like they get into a relationship and the communication is just terrible. And then it's just like, what happened? They might get into a relationship, and I know people personally that are like gold diggers, and they go in these relationships and they have this sense of entitlement, like, oh, he gonna do this or she gonna do this right away. And it's like, well, not really. And then with that single energy, they're right back on the street single, and they're in the same spot they were in before with no growth. They didn't learn anything because they didn't stay in a relationship long enough to even know what their problems are. Like one of you said, um, when you're single, your communication doesn't really improve because you don't have anybody to correct it.
It can be contaminated, technically.
Yeah.
Statistically speak, it can be contaminated because you don't have anyone there almost like challenging you on the
Right.
ability to communicate and things of that nature. Yeah.
I think that same thing goes for people that's in and out of relationships. They don't even know, they don't know anything about commitment. And that kind of bleeds over into their jobs and all other kind of stuff. So it's definitely something to work on. And
I
you're
think
right,
when you're with the right person, the ability for you and the openness and the transparency comes natural. You'll want to tell it. It won't be that you have to be forced. You'll come home.
That's the safe space.
That's the intimacy of the relationship.
Yeah.
But also,
When you
too,
have a
though,
connection
but wait,
with
but
somebody,
also,
okay?
too, if I make way more money than you, of course you will be willing to share your stuff with me because guess what? So it plays.
But that's not my that's not my story.
No.
But
I disagree.
But what I'm saying, I'm not saying it's anybody's story. However, you have that person and people that wants to know, they're willing to share your stuff because guess what? They know that the kind of person you got them. So again, I think that whomever you date, you ask those critical questions. But then when you ask those critical questions in the beginning, finances, people say, well, that's too soon to talk about finances. No, it's not, because I'm not dating to date. I'm dating for forever. So I'm going to ask all the pertinent questions to me because I'm not about to sit and play games. So I personally ask about everything. I want to talk about health. I want to know if you're healthy. I want to know those things before I'm getting into it. I want to know finances. I want to know the good, bad, and the indifferent. I want to know about your mental health and emotional stuff. I want to know about your family because these are things that I have to prepare myself because I'm getting into it. You know what I mean? These are things that I asked in the beginning. I asked a lot of questions that most people may not ask in the beginning.
Is it fair for somebody to hide that they were adopted?
Is it fair?
Is it okay to hide that you're adopted?
With your partner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it fair? Is that okay?
No, it's not okay. It's not okay.
Is it okay to hide that, you went to jail when you were 20, 21, 25? Is it okay to hide that? I'm just asking. It's a yes or no.
It depends. You can't just say yes or no.
Why does it depend?
Because if that impact us in a relationship, yes. But if it doesn't, no, I don't have to know that. If it does not,
how would it impact us in a relationship? Are you speaking like if I got a felony?
Yes.
Okay, so if I don't have a felony, it's okay for me not to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't have to know that because your past is your past.
Okay, so what about the adoption? Should I talk about that or no? Is that okay to hide that?
I don't think the adoption part is important right away.
Yeah.
What about if I got a repo?
But if that, I don't care about that if it does not impact the relationship.
That doesn't matter to me.
Now, if you got a repo and then now we're trying to buy a house together and we sitting at the table and they saying, Mr. Winkleberry, yes, you got a proof of this, but unfortunately he can't. And I'm like, because you got a repo, and I'm gonna be like, babe, you knew we was doing this. Why didn't you tell me? We could have. Yes, but if it doesn't impact me, I don't have to know that.
Do I have to tell you I have a 800 credit score?
You don't have to tell me. I'm gonna ask you: do you have good credit, bad credit, or in the middle credit?
So if I just tell you it's good, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust you. Now, yeah. I don't have to know the point system. No.
But is it beneficial if I tell you or if I don't?
Yes, because if it's not, then maybe I can help you get to that place, or you can help me. I think
these are good. These are good questions, Shay. So can we go back?
I'm just trying to ask, so if all of these questions are good, why is it so bad to tell somebody you got a $5,000 bonus?
It's not bad. I didn't say that it was bad.
Why is it? Why are you apprehensive?
It's not. I'm withholding because I think that, I don't know. I think, and this is just me, I think, yes, when you marry, you become one. and all of that stuff. However, people lose themselves in a marriage. Some people, it's solely about my wife, it's solely about my husband, and they lose their identity. Like, I think people should have their own identity too. I'm not being lying about not having the money. You know what I mean? Because this is money that I earn. You know what I mean? You know how much I make. You know, this is how much I bring home. So anything extra, I think is mine. And if I choose to share it, like, okay, cool. More than likely, I'm gonna put extra in the account because that's the kind of person I am. I pay my bills a month or two in advance anyway. So I'm gonna make sure that our account is, you know, if somebody bless you with $1,000, gift you $1,000, and you don't, your brother gift you with $1,000 and you didn't tell me, okay, I don't have to know that because that's your own personal thing, if that makes sense. That's just me. I just don't have to know that. That's just me. If somebody
It's
gives
very
their brother or
it's very
sister
interesting.
something and we together and I don't know, they gift you that.
It seems like
Oh,
you
that's
don't
just
want
me.
to you are okay with a lot of things, but you won't budge on that extra money thing. And
Because money to him, when I tell you money with Kevin, oh my, it's like
Don't
it's
say
the
that.
ticket to the door.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So she and I. So one thing I don't do, and is I believe, like, we talk about money and friends. I don't believe in letting friends borrow money. I don't, because I don't want to get, and I've felt out with people with that. You know what I mean? And so Shay is say, I will never ask you that because, you know, if I'll go to a homeless shelter, I'm like, Shay, really? It's not that. I just think that I just sometimes draw the line with that. And but Shay think money is everything. No, it's not everything, because I know how it is not to have it, and I know how it is to have it. It can be gone tomorrow. So I don't put money to the pedestal like that, because you can lose it all tomorrow.
that's a very interesting view. So
She always say that about that. She think money
I've
drives.
had I've had people. Well, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. You remember we were talking about empathy.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend comes to you and they're like, "Oh, I'm about to get put out of my house. I'm $2,000 behind on bills,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right?" What do you say? What do you do?
I'm gonna question it. I'm gonna first be. I'm gonna say, can you tell me what happened? Because if you got into a car accident and you've been hospitalized and you just don't have it, I'm gonna be compelled to help you. You don't even have to tell me, because I didn't have friends that lost jobs. I didn't pay their car notes. I didn't pay their rent. They didn't even have to ask me. That's just what it is. But if you tell me you got $2,000 in debt because you sailed the seven seas and cruised all over, nah, figure it out. I don't have empathy at that point.
Oh
But
yeah,
if
we
you
talked about that.
yeah, but if you unable, just say if you got sick and you ran into a hardship, I got you. You don't even have to tell me, because I know. But if you fooling around, goofing around, and just being just irresponsible, don't come to me. That's just me.
Usually, when someone is in need of something, I usually don't ask them what happened, because whether they tell me what's going on or not, it's not going to help. It's not going to make a difference. This, it's not going to impact the solution. The bottom line is they need help.
Okay. Well, Shad, I need help. I want my 40th in Dubai, and I need help. I want to get there, first class.
There's also a level of ridiculousness.
Now listen. Now listen. Now he wanna. Now listen. Now he wanna. Now he wanna switch that up. But I need help. I do. I want. Listen. Travel, lodging. I need help.
That makes sense. But
But yeah.
somebody
Uh,
said GoFundMe.
but yeah. No.
Black
But
people, we got to stop using GoFundMe as insurance. And safety nets.
Listen, when I say that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother
We
day.
have to get life
Okay.
insurance, people, even if it's a $5,000 term life policy. Get you life insurance. It literally costs the much you spend for fast food. Just get it, because it's, if you think about it, that's how you build generational wealth. You build generational wealth. A lot of people built generational wealth off life insurance policies. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
get that money, somebody die. Now, if I'm in a relationship, that's stuff we need to talk about. We're going to talk about insurances and 401ks and pensions. So I'll know what to do if something happened to you. You'll know what to do what happened to me. Anybody else I want to leave some extra to, then I'll do that, right? But you have to have that. Like, those to me things that's important to me. You got to have, even if it's 5,000.
So, Kevin, you've mentioned pensions a few times. Who getting pensions?
These people still got jobs to give out pensions.
Don't start. Do not start.
There's still jobs to give out pensions. Not a lot of jobs, of course, but yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna leave that alone. Can we move to the next subject, please? Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, some companies still give that. It's hard to find.
Okay.
Pensions are great.
Okay.
Some people don't even know what a pension is.
Yeah, because a lot of jobs obsoleted those. A lot of jobs have.
Okay.
But yeah. But listen, we are 37 minutes over, y'all.
Almost another hour.
Listen, I think we might have to do a part two to this. We're gonna talk about like the importance of just life insurance, because I think the new age is and I think people have to do what they have to do when it comes to GoFundMe. But I think people is really just saddened and disheartening to see people who Gucci down and drove Benz and said when they die they got to GoFundMe. It does not make sense to me, and we have to change the mindset of our people. We have to. I'm getting tired of seeing people live lavish, and then when they die, they sitting up in a funeral home for 2 months. We got to stop doing that. We have to, and we need to educate our people the importance. And it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't. But on that note, we're gonna end this show, and I listen. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in with us. One thing we have in common is love. We love each other. Whether we have a difference of opinions, but at the end of the day, we love each other, and we love you for rocking with us. So we want to thank you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
And as always, we like to leave you guys off with something. So who want to go first? Go ahead, First Lady. Since you've been so opinionated, you got your little leopard dress on. Go ahead and take us away first.
Be honest. That's all my thing is. Be transparency. Stop before you start yelling out what you want in a relationship. You have to make sure you're willing to give what you're asking for. And that's one of the biggest things that will have you in a healthy relationship. Making sure you're able to deliver what you ask for and making sure it's realistic expectations. So being transparency is being honest and being truthful and communication all falls under you being able to be vulnerable at the end. So open yourself up to be vulnerable. It's okay. It ain't nobody gonna take your money, I promise.
Go ahead, Shad.
I would say it's on the tip of my tongue. Good Lord. We're going to have to come back to me because, oh, God, I just had it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Leave, like if you want to be single and you want to act like you're single, you want to behave like you're single, stay single.
Hey, no, I just kidding.
Don't bring the single energy into a relationship because it's a totally different category. It's levels to this shit.
Hello.
That's all I got.
Okay. What I'm gonna leave you guys with: ask all of the most important, all of the pertinent questions up front. Ask anything in the beginning so that you don't set yourself up for failure. They don't set themselves up for failure. Make sure that you equally yoked. Now, granted, you're not going to be on one accord with everything, but make sure when you talking to somebody, you have your haves and your have-nots. And if they don't meet your halves, it's not going to work. Don't force something to work that you know is not going to work. And that's all I'm gonna say. Ask and pay attention to the writings on the wall. That's important too. But other than that, just live, laugh, love on one another. This is a time where it's a trying time, and check on people. You know, we just learned of the guy who had committed suicide off the Ellen show. It was like, wow. Check on people. Check on the people you think is strong, right? Because sometimes we overlook or underlook those people. Love on one another, check on everybody, and just see how they are mentally. And on that note, we'll see you guys next week at the same time.
Bye-bye.
I think for Christmas, I'm gonna talk with the panel. We might do something for Christmas. I don't know. Maybe Santa will come to y'all next week. I don't know. Tune in. Santa might come in and surprise y'all with a little something.
You gonna share your bonus with us?
No. But Santa may pop up. But until then, we love you guys. We'll see you guys again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, we out. We love you. Peace.
Bye-bye.